We take you back to a kinder, gentler time, before the Great War, when the sun hadn't set on the British Empire. Did I say kinder and gentler? Well, there's a bit of a stinker in all of us, and none was better at expressing it in the most amusing and genteel terms than H. Munro, who wrote under the pen name of Saki. Today's story from Saki is Quail Seed.
Hello? Hello?
Morning, Lucy.
Jimmy, there you are. A bit empty in here, isn't it?
Oh, a bit.
But where are all the Christmas shoppers?
Shh. Whatever you do, don't ask that in front of Mr. Scarrick. You'll quite set him off.
Oh. He left you in charge?
Only in the certainty that there wouldn't be a stampede on our services.
That bad, eh?
Yeah, quite.
Hello?
Yes? How may I assist you?
Oh, I was, just looking for a railway timetable. I'm going up to the city and...
Sorry, clean out. Perhaps next week.
Thank you.
You might have made a sale.
Nah, she just wanted to look.
You don't know that.
No, she's the fourth today. Everyone would rather take the train to town and shop in a big department store than bother to take advantage of the convenience. And that's 5.
The outlook is not encouraging for us smaller businesses. These big concerns are offering all sorts of attractions to the shopping public which we couldn't afford to imitate, even on a small scale. Reading rooms and playrooms and gramophones and heaven knows what.
Folks like shiny objects.
And they don't care to buy half a pound of sugar nowadays unless they can listen to Harry Lauder and have the latest Australian cricket scores ticked off before their eyes.
Seems like quite a trip for sugar.
With the big Christmas stock we've got in, we ought to keep half a dozen assistants hard at work. But as it is, my nephew Jimmy and myself can pretty well attend to it ourselves. In fact, I've left him in charge. I've never done that before.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
It's a nice stock of goods too. I could run it all off in a few weeks' time, but there's no chance of that. Not unless the London line was to get snowed up for a fortnight before Christmas.
How are you going to keep him home on the farm?
So tedious. But there it is. And what else is one to do?
We shall simply wait for the next.
May I help you, ladies?
Oh, really? We just stopped in to see about...
Bootlaces.
Bootlaces. Yes, I've been in dire need of some.
Of course. Over on the left wall, near the back.
Oh, yes, of course. You knew he'd try and sell us something if we came in here. Bootlaces, indeed. I already have more laces than boots.
At least if we do make a purchase, they're small enough to carry when we go to...
Finding everything?
Oh, yes. This is the best anchovy paste. Just what I was looking for.
Just lovely.
Perhaps you ladies could help me. I was thinking of adding a little entertainment to the shop.
Oh.
I did have a sort of idea of engaging Miss Lufcombe to give recitations during afternoons. She made a great hit at the post office entertainment with her rendering of Little Beatrice's Resolve.
Oh, that would be just lovely.
What? Your pardon.
Perhaps we should just do our shopping here.
But I'm in my best hat.
Shh, 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 shh. Look at that. Look at that.
What an odd-looking boy. Brown as a nut. But we've not had sun in weeks.
And those clothes, like something out of the Arabian Nights.
6 pomegranates, please. And a packet of Quail Seed.
What's the bowl for?
To carry the pomegranates.
Why not a string bag?
Allergies.
Here you are. We have some lovely pomegranates.
He doesn't even look surprised.
Oh, the boy must have been here before.
The wine and figs were not paid for yesterday. Keep what is over of the money for our future purchases.
As you wish.
A very strange-looking boy.
A foreigner, I believe.
Does he shop here often? Surely there can't be much call for quail seed at this time of the year.
It takes all sorts.
Oh, I forgot those bootlaces. Oh, come on.
I wish for 1.5 pounds of the best coffee you have.
Certainly, sir.
Oh, look at that beard.
Like a comedy Russian.
No, more like an ancient
Has
Assyrian.
a dark-faced boy been here buying pomegranates?
I can't say as I've seen anyone like that.
How could he?
We have a few pomegranates in stock, but there's been no real demand for them.
My servant will fetch the coffee as usual. Have you perhaps any quail seed?
No, we don't stock it.
What will he deny next?
And I always believed Mr. Scarrick to be such a truthful man. Heavens, he just presided a lecture on Savonarola.
Oh, don't let's bother about the 312. Let's dash and talk this out at Laura Lipping's.
Perhaps we should buy a few things first, since we're here. Turning up the deep astrakhan collar of his long coat, the stranger swept out of the shop with the air of a satrap proroguing a sanhedrin.
Do satraps prorogue?
Have you ever seen one that didn't?
Oh, I don't even know what a sanhedrin is. Is it a dance?
It is a simile and it hardly matters. Or do I mean allegory?
And the boy? I should have thought him Greek. But after seeing that beard...
They could have been unrelated.
Unrelated and both asking for quail seed. Mark my words, there's something afoot.
What bothers me most is this unprecedented streak of falsity in our local grocer.
I've never known Mr. Scarrick to prevaricate like that before.
It's the influence of that artist that took the flat above the shop. Mark my words. Bohemian.
I shall never again be able to believe what he tells me about the absence of colouring matter in the jam.
Jimmy!
Yeah, here.
Goodness, it looks like a tornado touchdown.
Fabulous, isn't it?
But what happened?
This afternoon, from tea onwards, we had a constant stream of shoppers.
Is this something to do with the odd individuals who may or may not have been in this afternoon?
Whomever do you refer to?
Oh, come on, it's all over town. People talked about it at tea, and even more people talked about it at supper. I expect they're all talking about it over bridge even as we speak. The dark young man in the beard.
Sounds a bit like a music hall act.
Yes, it does.
Is this the freshest jar of pickles?
Miss? I suppose so.
It looks a bit dusty.
Oh, that would be my fault.
Jimmy!
Oh, so sorry. Must jump.
Do you think they will return?
I have it on good authority. Someone's rented the house at the far end of Plumagen.
Why should they come all this way to shop?
Plumagen drapers don't stock quail seed.
Ah.
That will be 3 shillings and 4.
I'm looking for something interesting for a savoury. Have you any...
I have some pickled olives imported from Turkey.
Yes, anything.
What can I get for you today?
I require a pound of honey and a packet of quail seed.
Very good, sir.
We might be living in the Arabian Nights.
Hush! Listen, listen.
We have some very fine Jaffa oranges. Around behind here.
Oh,
What may I get for you today, sir?
A pound of dates and a tin of the best Smyrna Hava.
Halva? What is that?
It comes from Smyrna. That's figs, isn't it? Smyrna is?
Who would want dates and figs?
Hush!
There you are.
Yes. Has the dark-faced boy of whom I spoke yesterday been here today?
We've had rather more people than usual in the shop today. But I can't recall a boy such as you describe.
Didn't we say?
It's too terrible.
It is deplorable that anyone, particularly someone in a position such as Mr. Scarrick, should treat the truth as an article temporarily and excusably out of stock.
More quail seed. Those quails must be voracious. Or else, perhaps it isn't quail seed at all.
I believe it's opium, and the bearded man is a detective.
I don't. I'm sure it's something to do with the Portuguese throne.
More likely to be a Persian intrigue on behalf of the ex-Shah. The bearded man belongs to the government party. The quail seed is a countersign, of course. Persia is almost next door to Palestine, and quails come into the Old Testament, you know.
Only as a miracle? I've thought all along it was part of a love intrigue.
I distinctly saw a snarl of baffled rage as the man departed, sandwiched between that heavy moustache and upturned astrakhan collar.
I can't imagine that the boy is the guilty party here. Much more likely, he's simply perishing of love for someone. Perhaps the daughter of the beard. But the match is quite unsuitable.
Honey and pomegranates, of course.
Closed.
I know, Muttonhead.
Oh, Lucy.
Another busy day?
The busiest. Another day or two of brisk trade and we'll be...
I was here today, you know.
Oh?
You were quite the hero, hustling that poor young man off behind the biscuit tins in the very nick of time.
Well, I've got a good view of the street from my post at the cheese and bacon counter.
Jimmy, have you ever known me to gossip?
You, Lucy? I don't think so.
Quite a vote of confidence.
No, I didn't mean... No, I've never known you to gossip.
Let me in, then. Perhaps there's something I can do to help.
It was quite marvellous. And we sold out of that blasted Alva.
It looked crowded, but they would actually buy.
They bought and bought. Some came back 3 or 4 times just to have an excuse to linger.
Oh, I forgot. And silly me, one more thing.
Exactly. Even those women whose purchases were of modest proportions dawdled over them as though they had...
Brutal, drunken husbands to go home to.
I've even had to take on a couple of extra assistants for tomorrow.
What do you think? Is this bowl anything like the one the young gentleman carries?
Nonsense. His is brass, or bronze, perhaps. That one is copper.
Still, it's got a lovely patina.
Ducks.
Pardon?
Ducks. I found a lovely recipe for Bombay duck, and I was wondering if a domestic duck would suffice.
I suspect that ducks are much the same the world over.
Oh!
You'll excuse me.
Oh!
Sir?
Yes?
I must warn you,
Oh,
We have run out of quail seed.
oh, I must.
Oh, no.
We do have some much finer oranges today, if you want to step over here.
I found myself subconsciously repeating, "The Assyrian came down like a wolf on the fold," under my breath.
What's the door?
Coffee again today, sir? Perhaps figs?
I'm looking for...
Jaffa oranges, I think.
What?
She slithered out of the aisle like the lady in the lake.
Your Excellency does his shopping himself?
I order the things myself. I find it difficult to make my servants understand.
However did we miss a mysterious veiled lady right in the midst of us all?
I was saying, they have some excellent Jaffa oranges here.
You.
Yes?
You have perhaps some good Jaffa oranges?
Everyone expected an instant denial on the part of Mr. Scarrick of any such possession. But before he could answer...
No! No!
Holding his empty brass bowl before him as he dashed into the street, his face was masked with studied indifference.
Overspread with ghastly pallor. I would call it blazing with defiance.
How defiant could he be? He was so terrified that his teeth chattered.
I distinctly heard him whistling the Persian national anthem.
But the bearded man, his face was a mask of abject terror.
I thought he would dash out after the boy, but he just paced to and fro like a caged animal seeking an outlet for escape.
He couldn't take his eyes off the door.
Did he ever come back for his purchases, or send his servant?
I've not had the nerve to ask Mr. Scarrick. The whole thing was so overwhelming.
It was so overwhelming, trying not to laugh and watching all their faces.
You did a fabulous job.
You like me in a veil?
I can think of a certain veil I'd like to see you in.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can never thank you fellows enough.
We enjoyed the fun of it. And the figs.
It was a welcome vacation from posing for hours for the Lost Hylas.
You just have to sit still. I'm the one who has to make you look good.
What do I owe you?
Oh, no. It was far too entertaining.
We did get all of those lovely pomegranates.
At any rate, I insist on paying for the hire of the black beard.
Tonight's story from Saki was Quail Seed and was adapted by Julie Hoverson from the original story by H. Munro. In tonight's episode, Mr. Scarrick was John Lingard, Jimmy was Will Watt, Lucy was Tanja Milojevic of Lightning Bolt Theatre of the Mind, the boy was Reynaud LeBoeuf, the man was Anthony D.P. Mann of the Horror Etc. podcast. Miss Fritten was Robyn Keyes, Mrs. Grays was Jennifer Dixon, Mrs. Gordon was Judith Moore, Gloria was Beverly Poole, and Julie Hoverson filled in a bunch of additional voices. Music for this episode was by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, and cover art was located with the help from Bill Jones. Sound and mastering was done by Julie Hoverson. Sound effects were found on Soundsnap.com, OneSoundFX.com, and Sonomic.com. The opening theme was by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. The opening credits featured Cole Hornaday, Reynaud LeBoeuf, and Julie Hoverson. All persons, places, and events in this story were fictitious or used in a fictitious manner and are not meant to reflect any persons, places, or things, living, dead, or undead. Questions? Comments? We would love to hear from you. Contact us at 19nocturne@live.com, that's 19nocturne, or check out our website at www.19nocturneboulevard.com. This presentation is copyright 2011 to Julie Hoverson and Reality Productions and is released under a Creative Commons non-commercial license. Spread the show around, but don't try to make money off it.